you so much for tuning in. I'm Stephanie with Chubby Girl in the World, and today we are talking about wardrobe. And if you don't know, the new uploading schedule for 2019 is that Monday we do Vegan Makeup Mondays, and Wednesday is it worth the wardrobe? And Sunday is more about a style guide. So Monday and Wednesday are more kind of shopping and new releases, and is it something that I'm going to pick up? Is it something I'm interested in? Is it something I think is worth saving up while I'm on my low buy? And Sunday is more about using what I currently have in my closet to come up with different looks. It's more of like a lookbook and more of my favorite outfits throughout the week. So it's going to be probably 3 to 4 outfits every Sunday that I style together and accessorize and just kind of show you what you can do with what you already have in your closet. And I'm trying to film a declutter of my closet. So with all of that being said, today is it worth a wardrobe Wednesday? So let's get into it. I hate underwire bras. I'm not a fan, I don't like. So I would love to replace all of my bras with bralettes. From Torrid, they have this really pretty red and black lace bralette, and I would love to have that in my wardrobe to replace some of my underwire bras. And they also have a gray floral microfiber bralette, and these are wireless, and I just love the idea of not having wires in my bra. I just don't like the feeling. I don't like them. They're not good for you. They pinch. So I just want to do away with them. So I think that both of those are completely worth the wardrobe. I, of course, didn't write down how much they cost, but I think they're around the $20 to $30 mark. And Torrid does have sales. Torrid has sales a lot. And the thing is, I don't care if I buy like Christmas themed bras because they're going to be on sale in the spring. So that's another thing you want to consider too. When you're talking about foundational garments or undergarments, if you buy off season, like say you have flamingo pattern underwear and you buy them in the middle of December, you're going to pay less for them than you are for like the Rudolph, underwear that are hot and in season during the winter time. So just kind of consider that before you purchase, when you're going to be purchasing new foundational garments. I would suggest replacing your undergarments. I would say bras anywhere from every 2 to 3 years, unless you bought something really really quality and expensive. But if you're buying something from lanebryant or you're buying something from Torrid, probably every 2 to 3 years is when you should be replacing them. Underwear, I tend to replace, I'm really bad, so it's embarrassing because I will have, of course, like most women, I have the underwear that are for the week. So those are the ones I just don't care about. They're not very pretty. But I also don't like repurchase undergarments very often just because I feel like it's something nobody really ever sees, and I don't like the lacy, silky stuff. Like, I am a cotton person. I only want cotton. It's just more comfortable for me. But I have heard that you should replace your underwear every year. And lanebryant oftentimes has the 5 for like 35 sale. So if you can get that, that's a really good deal. But like I said, I'm just not a fan of like super pricey frilly undergarments. I'd rather have cotton. So that's me. Now, getting into interesting stuff. This is a ModCloth dress, and it is a blue kind of shirtwaist dress. I could not find the picture that had the plus size model. So this does come in plus sizes, but I couldn't find a picture with a plus model. I tried to find that so that it's more kind of relevant if you are plus size, but I do think this style of dress is very pretty and very flattering on a lot of different silhouettes and shapes. I like it because the contrast piping kind of breaks everything up. I carry most of my weight on the bottom, like middle bottom half, and when things with contrast and piping can kind of cut that open, not cut it open, but kind of make it so that it looks like I have shape, down there, then it's much easier for me to kind of pull a look together and just feel more confident in it. I think that, so Stephanie last year would have already purchased this dress. I want to think on this a little bit more because it is a very simple dress. I have a lot of simple dresses, but this is my dilemma. Right now, my dresses are a little too big. In a few months, they're going to be way too big because as I'm on my weight loss journey, my clothes are just going to be way, way too big. And I am not necessarily thinking of purchasing this particular dress. There is a lightly used clothing sale with curvy closets that comes every spring and every fall to my area. And what they do is they have just kind of gently used clothing for sale, and it's all by consignment. So like you can sell your clothes there, and you also can purchase clothes. So I think what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to, as things just start not fitting me very well, instead of trying to wear them out or find ways to wear them, I'm just going to save them, and that way they'll be gently used, and maybe I might be able to recoup some of that money and sell them at that event, and then use that money in turn to purchase clothes that I would like. So I'm looking at this style, and I really like the simplicity of it, but at the same time, it kind of, it doesn't have the je ne sais quoi that I like in clothing items. I'm a little bit of a flamboyant person, and I like a little bit more fun characteristics. For example, like this cardigan. This cardigan has oh gosh, I can't think of what it's called. The pointel. It's got like the little holes. It looks like aeration. It looks like the whole sweater's been aerated, but in a very pretty pattern. And I love the idea of having the top button be a bow, and I just love that aesthetic. I call it the J. Crew aesthetic, where you have like kind of the messy hair bun and the cardigan with the ribbons and pearls and things like that. That's really the thing that I've always wanted to dress like, but I never do because it's never available in my size. And as my size goes down, I'm finding that I have more and more options to do that. And I feel like I kind of didn't know that about myself until recently. So I think that as you grow, and your style is going to change, and what you like is going to change. And what I like today and what I like next month are going to be maybe different. I always consider myself what's like a style chameleon, where one day I feel really rock and roll and grunge, and then the next day I feel really preppy, and then the day after that I just am very editorial. So it just really depends. So speaking of which, I think I am not that impressed with most lanebryant releases. I will say that to begin with. This, however, is a gorgeous gradient dress that it does the puff sleeve trend just right. I'm not a huge fan of like the huge like 80s puff sleeve. This is done just right. It goes from silver to a bronzy color in a gradient, like an ombre dress, and it's glittery, but it doesn't look cheap. Sometimes when you get glittery clothing, it just looks bad. This, I think, can be a date night dress. I think it can be a special occasion dress. And I think if you wore it with the right pair of boots, I honestly think that if you wore this with some boots and some leggings, and even if maybe you had like a long sleeved sweater underneath, you could even wear it to the office if you have a more style friendly office, I guess you could say. But I really liked this dress. I saw this, and at first I was like, wait, is this lanebryant? Really? So same thing with this next one from lanebryant. I thought that this was a very fashion forward and editorial look for them, and it's kind of a window pane dress with some editorial ruffles. Now, I normally don't like ruffles because most of the time ruffles are not done well. Here they've done ruffles the way that ruffles are meant to be. Ruffles are meant to be just a tiny flirtation of femininity and a tiny flirtation of uh, just a little something to add to a garment. I cannot stand when someone puts just like the giant like pirate ruffles. Like if you've ever seen that episode of Seinfeld where he's like wearing this shirt that just is all ruffly, like most of the time people do ruffles that way and I can't stand it. I don't like it. But this dress, the window pane dress with just the right amount of ruffles, I I personally think that's worth my wardrobe. I don't know that I will necessarily pick it up. So all of these things are things that I really like, but I would have to think really long and hard about where I would want my dollars to go. So I would like a garment like that. That being said, I this is a tuxedo dress, and I actually used to have a dress like this from Lane Bryant, except it was pinstriped. It was very beautiful, and it was pinstriped, and it was blue. It was a like a white and a navy, and it lasted a good long while. I would say about 3 to 4 years, which is pretty good for fast fashion, and I think you could consider Lane Bryant kind of fast fashion. And this one I like, but you'll see a similar one later that I like much better from Eloquai. And this one I think would be really nice for someone who just wants a put together look. You just want to be able to throw on a neutral eye look, do your hair, and run out the door. I think that this outfit just kind of brings everything together and you don't really have to, it's effortless. I think that's kind of the point of outfits like that. This was this is something that has been on my wish list since before Christmas. This is the Jennifer midi dress from Elizabeth St. James. I did a whole video about Elizabeth St. James, Sierra Blue Fashion, and Nordstrom's Rack, and I'll link it down below. But Elizabeth St. James is an indie brand company. They're out of St. Louis, and they're run by this amazing woman. I believe she's the model here. She's absolutely gorgeous, and her clothing just is spot on. It's exactly so. Half of her clothing seems inspired by high-end Burberry, high-end like Alexander McQueen. Like it's very a lot of the sequin jackets she does are very reminiscent of Alexander McQueen, but with a different spin, like a different edge, and I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that aesthetic, and like this Jennifer midi dress is obviously inspired by Burberry. And there's a trench coat that was also kind of in the same pattern. I am so sad that this is out of stock right now. I really, really hope they bring it back because I would pay full price for this dress. If this was the only thing I acquired for my spring collection, if this was the only thing that I bought for my spring, like I'm only purchasing clothing in the spring and then again in the fall. So even so, if this was the only thing I picked up for spring, summer, I would be extremely happy. I think that this works in spring, summer. I think it works in winter, fall, winter. I think this is just an amazingly styled outfit, and it looks high end, and there's a reason it keeps selling out. So I'm really looking forward to being able to purchase this soon. So please, please, please restock. So, and again, Elizabeth St. James is doing this amazing, they're doing this amazing, it's a houndstooth blazer set. So there's the pants and then the blazer in this houndstooth pattern. Now, for me in particular, I would not wear the blazer and the pants together because I am 5 feet tall, and I think that much pattern would just kind of, the outfit would be wearing me, I wouldn't be wearing the outfit. So I would most likely wear the houndstooth jacket with black pants or a pink pant. I think that would look incredibly fashion forward and beautiful, or like a light blue or pastel, anything like that to just kind of offset the black and white. And if I were to wear the same thing with the pants, if I wore the pants, then I would wear maybe a lighter blue, like a lighter blue satin blouse, anything like that. I really think that this is worth the investment and worth the wardrobe. And her pricing is not, it isn't like crazy out there. I think the Jennifer midi dress is $48, and I think the set is somewhere around $58. I'm not entirely sure. But if you check out elizabethstjames.com, again, this video is not sponsored in any way. I just really enjoy these designs. So here is something from Eloquii that I went back and forth on. And again, Stephanie in mid 2018 would have already purchased this. It is a cardigan sweater dress by Eloquii, and it's what I imagine fancy like country club ladies kind of lounge around in. And I probably would have purchased this at that point. It comes in white and black. But I want to get away from the idea of buying things that make you feel fancy, and because I think playing dress up is fine. I think having dress up playtime is really important, and I think it's really important to kind of get your creative juices flowing and to just kind of play with your wardrobe, see what makes you happy, see what doesn't, and get rid of the things that don't. But I also want to warn you against purchasing things that you think will then make you a different person, because that's not the goal of fashion. The goal of fashion is to inspire you. It is to make it so that you are expressing yourself, and not that you're trying to be someone you're not. And I've fallen into that trap where, oh, I can buy this expensive lipstick or buy this expensive shirt, and then I will be just like the fancy people. But my life hasn't changed. I still drive a 20-year-old car. I still have the same job. I still have all the same things and problems I did. My life didn't magically change because I bought that item of clothing. But that's kind of the story we tell ourselves, and that's definitely the story that marketing tells you. So you just want to be careful and make sure that you are mindfully purchasing things that you love and want. So even though I find this aesthetically pleasing, I don't think it would serve my wardrobe. This dress, however, I own my own small business, and so I'm often in positions where I am giving my opinion, or I am being asked to make really important decisions. And sometimes I feel small, and I feel like I don't really, it's not that I don't feel I deserve to be there. I just feel like sometimes it's hard to be decisive and know for sure that you're making the right decision. And what I have found over the years, time and time again, is that when I'm wearing something that makes me feel like when I'm wearing something that matches the boss babe that I am inside, when I look like it on the outside, I'm more able to express that on the outside. I'm more able to communicate my ideas more fluidly. I'm able to be more decisive and I'm able to be more productive when I feel like the person that I know that I am. So I can overthink things too much when I'm having a bad makeup day, or I'm having I don't feel right in my outfit. This pearl button blazer dress is $159. It is amazing. It is amazingly just perfect in every way, in my opinion. I feel like it's just cut just right to it's not meant to hide your curves, but it also isn't so, it isn't revealing, it isn't putting you in a position of vulnerability. It's something that a CEO would wear. And I am a CEO. And so I feel like in this, instead of me trying to play at being a fancy lady, this is something that I would wear to express my inner strength and my inner confidence in my abilities. And that's something that would maybe if I wasn't feeling so confident that particular day, or maybe if I was going to a meeting that I, was a little not scared but a little hesitant about, wearing something like this would make me feel, would help me tap into that empowered feeling that I know is already there. So do you see the difference between kind of playing at being a fancy lady and kind of helping yourself, like helping boost yourself into the person that you already are? So I hope that makes sense. This is from Loft. If you didn't know, oh my gosh, my arm. Oh, holding that iPad. Oh. Okay. So if you didn't know, Loft has plus sizes now. I'm not sure if they have them in the store, but they definitely have them online. If they do have them in store, they might not have them at every Loft, so you might want to call and ask, are you one of the Lofts that have plus sizes? Because the more and more people that do that, the more and more brands will say, oh, yes, we should carry plus sizes in store. Because like, oh my gosh, people want to try on clothes. What a concept, right? So this is a Loft plus tweed wrap skirt. It's $69.50 for a regular price. It goes up to a size 26. Technically, I'm a size 26, 28. With skirts and dresses, I can usually fit into a 26 because my waist is quite a bit smaller. My natural waist is quite a bit smaller than my hips. So normally this would fit just fine. And I don't have any tweed skirts or jackets or anything in my collection, and I feel like that's something that I'd like to invest in. So this is another one of those things where I'd be perfectly happy just purchasing this particular item if I didn't find anything at the large used clothing sale that's coming up I think it's either April or May that's coming up. So I think they have it April, May, or like September. So if you're in the Portland, Oregon area and you're a plus size person, check out Kirby Closets. I think it's Kirby Closets. Google Kirby Closets. Just Google it and see if it's in your area. So again, the Loft has plus sizes, and I really like this tweed skirt. They also have this plus size lace sleeve sweater. It was originally $79.50 and it's now $25. It is an online exclusive, so you can't find this in stores. Excuse me. And I like the lace detail. I think it's worth $25. I don't think it's worth $79.50, no matter how soft the sweater is. I had a hard time not purchasing this right away, but when I thought about it, I was like, well, $25 is a quarter of my biannual budget, and I don't want to. It wasn't I looked at it and it was something that I thought was nice, but it wasn't something that I immediately went, yes, that's what I want. And I think that there's a difference. Like, I have enough clothes that I think, they're nice, but I don't want that anymore. I want to wake up and have a curated closet full of items that I am absolutely in love with. That's what I want. And I think that should be everyone's goal, is to just have the things that make you amazingly happy, so that when new things come out and so that you aren't prey to the cycle of, well, everything is new and you have to have this new thing and that new thing. It's like, well, no, you don't need anything, really. Most of us have way too many clothes as it is. But what I want is, I just want to be able to say, Yes, everything in my collection, everything in my closet is something that I have personally handpicked and curated for myself, and I love every single thing. That's what I want. And I don't think that that is an unreasonable goal. I think that that's something that everyone should work towards. Leave in the comments down below if you saw anything in this worth the wardrobe that you wanted to pick up, or something that you thought was just amazing, or something that you thought was meh, and let us know. I'd love to hear about you and what you're doing this year, and what fashion trends you would like to see and which ones you definitely want to see go away. So that might be one of our next videos. Would you like that? Like a video of 19 trends I'd like to see go away in 2019? Giant puffy sleeves. So let me know in the comments down below what you think, what you'd like, and don't forget to hit the like button if you did like this video, and hit subscribe. You know how YouTube works. Thank you so much for being here, and have a fantastic day. Bye, lovelies.